Before diving into the video, I want to address the amazing viewers who haven't hit that subscribe button yet. It's free and genuinely helps me continue creating awesome content like this. Plus, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm dropping a surprise video you won't want to miss. So smash that subscribe button and join the fam. Now, let's start today's story. The representative from the clan studied me from across the table, the aroma of exquisite cuisine filling the room. The ambience was luxurious, with a spread of delectable dishes and refreshing beverages, non-alcoholic and nut-free, to accommodate our diverse group. The crab-like creature beside me savored his meal, despite initial reservations. It wasn't surprising. They always appreciated human cuisine. "Tell me something," he said, scanning the room with curiosity. "Certainly," I replied. "I've observed various phenomena across the galaxy. Perhaps I can shed some light?" "Please do," he urged, taking in the ornate decor adorning the walls. "We've concluded our business. It's time for relaxation." I gestured, and my waiter, a burly lizard-like being, cleared my empty plate. "Why are humans ubiquitous? Why do they seemingly control everything?" he inquired, a common question. "They always ask," I chuckled. "Allow me to explain." He looked puzzled, prompting me to continue. "Newcomers often wonder why humans dominate. It all boils down to one factor in their history. They didn't get the memo." He raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Explain." "Let me enlighten you with a history lesson," I began. "It's been roughly 100 cycles since humanity entered the galactic stage." "Impossible!" he exclaimed, nearly toppling from his chair. "They possess massive fleets and govern countless worlds. How did this happen in a mere century?" "Simple," I said with a grin. "They never received the memo, or chose to ignore it." I elaborated. "Do you understand the basics of logistics and space travel?" "Of course," he affirmed. "Then you know the challenges of leaving our home world," I continued. "Space is harsher than most realize. Building megaships is a logistical and engineering nightmare. Humanity quickly realized it wasn't feasible and focused on smaller-scale exploration." He nodded, reflecting on his species' similar struggles. Faster-than-light travel became elusive, and grand fleets became impractical as we matured. As we began constructing the only large starship we could justify, the Arks, I concluded. Passenger liners packed with cryogenic pods or stasis facilities for colossal colonies on distant planets became our salvation. It took us nearly 400 cycles to develop a reliable engine to shorten travel times, yet we only managed to colonize our nearest systems. FTL became a distant dream, he reminisced with a hint of sadness. "Ah, humans," I sighed, shaking my head with a fond smile. "They never received the memo. Instead, they devised a system harnessing gravitational forces to propel themselves across the cosmos. It's more intricate than it sounds." He looked puzzled, prompting me to elaborate. "Yes, humans have a form of FTL travel. Initially, the idea seemed unattainable, but unlike us, they refused to surrender. They ingeniously utilized the gravitational pull of their gas giants to sling themselves across space. Soon after, they mastered the art of wormhole generation." "FTL through gravity-powered wormholes," he exclaimed, eyes wide with disbelief. "Yes, indeed," I confirmed, displaying a holographic schematic on my datapad. "Their FTL engines manipulate artificial gravity to tear small rifts in spacetime, essentially enabling teleportation. It's not without limitations, but it's remarkably effective." He remained stunned. "It's incredible," he muttered. "Indeed," I agreed, wearing a smirk. Before humans, civilizations struggled with FTL, but none succeeded. Empires sprawled across thousands of worlds, each with its own governance and conflicts. Wars were waged with hypermissiles, and civilizations perished due to the inability to overcome this hurdle. We delved into galactic history, discussing the era before humans, BH, where the concept of FTL eluded most civilizations. Empires expanded, but were hindered by logistical nightmares. Attempts at conquest faltered, industries collapsed, and plans for domination crumbled under the weight of logistics. Many civilizations experimented with slip drives, I continued, explaining how these drives exploited the radiation and gravitational forces of stars to facilitate FTL travel within systems. Yet, they were not without flaws. Massive power requirements and conspicuous radar signatures rendered surprise attacks impossible. Our slip drives are among the best, I boasted, noting our advancements in this area. Boastfully, he said, puffing up with pride. I chuckled, knowing exactly where he was going with this. So they all say, but humans have you beat. We thought our slip drives were the pinnacle of galactic technology. Then, we landed a colony ship on a human world. Any pride we had vanished when they unleashed their fleets. All right, he conceded, gesturing with his claws. But that still doesn't explain why humans reign supreme in the galaxy. Do tell. Well, let's start with some human history, I began. Humanity's star system boasts 4 gas giants, I explained simply. His eyes widened in amazement. 4? Most systems would be lucky to have one. Yes, 4, I affirmed. And all within close proximity to each other, each with its own gravitational pull. Humans have cleverly utilized these gravity wells to propel themselves around, sort of like a slingshot. That's impressive, he remarked, clearly intrigued. So, what kind of world is their home? A death world, I stated matter-of-factly. Hurricanes, volcanoes, earthquakes, diseases, hostile native life forms, you name it. It's a world teeming with danger and adversity. He looked visibly shocked, his chitin visibly chattering. But how? Apparently, a death world is the perfect crucible for creating a resilient species, I explained. Humanity thrives because they never got the memo. No massive fleets because FTL doesn't work. They're the oddballs of the galaxy. So, how do they maintain control? He inquired, leaning in with interest. In our context, it's simple, I shrugged. We just couldn't be bothered. Humanity showed us what was possible. They defied the odds with battleships, mining operations, and FTL communication. As I continued, I could tell he was losing interest. The thing is, humans accomplished everything we thought was impossible. When they offered us the chance to join them, we saw no reason to resist. He leaned back, processing the information. And now they're in complete control of the galaxy? Exactly, I affirmed. No wars, no violence, no death. They just did it. What do they get in return? He asked, curious. A grace period to test our adherence to their rules, I explained. Then, we join their ranks, working alongside them in navies, armies, and mining fleets. Eventually, we're allowed to build our own ships and expand our influence. He studied the terms closely, silently contemplating. After a few moments, he signed the contract, holding up his glass in a toast to the future. A bright one indeed, I replied, raising my own glass in agreement.